So that's that. Now moving on to something big that's happening here in India. So basically, India AI Summit is supposed to happen between 16th and 20th of Feb, right, in Delhi. And as we discussed in the last pod, Sarvam AI was supposed to launch a lot of AI models before that summit, right? So that launching has already started. So they are releasing 14 different things on 14 different days. So every day they are launching certain things. So on the first day when Nirmala Sitharaman was doing budget session, right? So their AI model was used to translate pretty much in real time, and broadcast was done on Republic. So that's where if she was probably most likely speaking in English, so that was translated in all Indian languages and was broadcast in different places in different languages. So that was a drop one for them. And then ever since that, they've been dropping a lot of models almost every single day. So they started with, I think, speech to text to speech. I think, let me just quickly check that out. So the first was Sarvam Audio, where they were able to efficient audio language model that defines the new benchmarks in speech recognition in Indian languages. So basically you could speak and then it will transcribe it into text, something that Whisper does, right? So it does it for all 22 Indian languages, and I've kind of played with it. So you could speak in English and then you can transition into Hindi, or I can only speak 2 languages, so I tried only in those 2 languages, and the transition on the speech to text was seamless. It was able to transcribe really fast. I still have to play with it technically, in the sense that whether it's streaming model or it's not a streaming model, those things. But then from the transcription side of it, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so that transition from English Hindi was really seamless, And then they've got their, on the third day, they launched their conversational AI Samvad, which is where you can talk to the agent talks back. So a lot of their attention is focused on telephonic conversations between people. So the demo that they've given out with people talking in Hindi or Malayalam or Telugu, that looks really absolutely awesome. So earlier we were kind of skeptical, what would Sarvam AI do that others have not done? But that's where they've kind of surprised, in the sense that the models are really good, they're pretty small, and they're doing in our own languages. So that way it's pretty cool. After that, they launched basically vision model as well. So you provide it an image, it'll come back with a text description of that image. That's a 3 billion model, which is decent. I haven't played with it a lot. I've seen the demos and all. It looks pretty decent to me, almost comparable to Gemma 3 27B and stuff. So that was there. And then recently, like yesterday, they dropped text to speech. So basically they call it Bulbul V3 version, which is text to speech. So you give it Hindi text, it will talk back in Hindi. So the quality of the model was very good, in the sense that the way the speech was coming out, it was not robotic at all. It looked like it was you're talking to a human. So that's where Sarvam AI models are coming out, and they seem to be a world-class models. I will definitely try and use them in my developments that I've been doing. But if you want to check it out, you can definitely check it out on their website. The only thing that I'm kind of not super happy about is these are not open source models. So we just cannot fine tune or use them like open source stuff. They are via APIs. Their costs are pretty much comparable to, for example, the speech to text model is almost 30 rupees per hour kind of transcription, which is almost comparable to Whisper. So there is no huge price gap as such. But then you're getting Indic languages, you're getting Indian languages, and the translation and transcription is pretty good. So that's where we can experiment with it. I would have liked if it was open source, or if they drop something open source alongside their APIs, so that we can play with it and kind of fine tune and do a lot more than just using the APIs. So that's a little disappointing, but then that's totally fine. They've got the APIs, and at least we now have Indian languages to play with, to try with. So that's what I would experiment with, and I highly recommend that you guys also check it out. Sarvam.ai is the website.
Yeah, and the most interesting thing is that we've only covered 1/3 of the projects that they're going to launch, right? This is what, day 5?
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is going to go on for almost 9 more days. So that's very exciting. We'll definitely keep a look on that. And I actually tried using Sarvam AI. I thought the UI was incredibly nice. It's one of the nicest UIs I've ever seen. And yeah, it's centered around Indian market. That's what I felt. A lot of, the names of the speech models, they would name it Rahul or any generic Indian name. So yeah, it was pretty nice. Of course, it would have been nicer if it was open source. We could have played with it, but
absolutely. So basically, now that you have APIs available, you could probably distill a little bit of it, and you can train your own models on top of that. So those things can happen definitely. But because it was kind of funded, as much as I'm aware, it was funded by the Indian government. So I was kind of expecting it to be an open source kind of solution. But let's see. I mean, they still have 7, 8, 9 days to go. Maybe they'll release something open source as well. Even if not, at least this is a good progress. These models are very comparable to the world models that we've got, like top models from OpenAI or Anthropic or anybody else. So that's a very interesting move.
These are basically some of the first properly pre-trained models that India has released, right? Would I be wrong?
Kritrim has been trying a lot of things. We have, we were not like super happy with the performance of those models. I haven't played with it in terms of technically played with it. I've just tried it on their website, right? Once we play with it, once we know how the integration works, if it's, on the Twitter, the buzz has been very, very positive. Everybody's been giving positive comments and all, but obviously we'll have to integrate in our products, try evolve. That's what the time is calling for. That's what everybody will have to do.
Yep. I think we've covered everything on the news part. We'll be on the lookout for Sarvam AI, of course, and all the new Claude bot updates, because every single weekend we get something new related to that. So yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that. We suggest that you check these products out yourself as well. And